We're now going to talk about finding great trustees where to look, otherwise known as advertising. But I think the word advertising is actually quite misleading. We're not necessarily talking about, for example, paying for a full page advert in the newspaper. What we're talking about is how are you going to get in front of the people that you want to apply to be trustees, bearing in mind that they may not know that they want to be a trustee yet, that they may not know your organisation, so therefore they may not be looking in the places that ordinarily trustees are advertised for. Now, this is likely to need your time, your effort, your imagination, and probably some help from the people within your network. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to make sure that your advert is on your own website, on your social media channels, in your newsletter, and so on. There are likely to be other community newsletters that you know about that you could advertise in. So, for example, if you work in particular neighbourhoods, there might be neighbourhood newsletters or Facebook groups that you could put your advert in. Depending on your work, you might also want to use physical posters in places like hospitals, community centres, universities, GP surgeries, and so on. You'll want to look at your local volunteer centre or Council for Voluntary Service. In Wakefield, Citizen Coin, you should definitely be using. You might also belong to other relevant membership bodies who could hold a trustee advert for you. Now, you will definitely want to advertise on Reach Volunteering. It is the largest platform for trustee recruitment across England and Wales, and it's free for small organisations. You can also advertise with Women on Boards and with Charity Job, which is free for voluntary positions. Now, you will want to think, depending on what you're looking for. So, for example, if you're looking for somebody with financial expertise, think about where finance people work. Do they work? Is there business parks? Are there large local employers like the local authority or the NHS that you could ask to promote the vacancy to? Think also about business networks and membership bodies and formal professional associations. If you're looking for a professional area, can they help? And then think about relevant publications, websites, and online networks. If you are looking for a particular sort of expertise, what is that person reading? What do they belong to, whether that's formal or informal? Where are you going to find them? I've included here 3 links to particular places you can advertise for professional skills. So the ICA Volunteers website is free. That's for accountants. That's completely free of charge to advertise there. You can also advertise for treasurers with the Honorary Treasurers Forum. And you can advertise for people with HR skills on the People Management website, which is again free for voluntary positions. Now, there are a couple of really excellent organisations that concentrate on particular underrepresented groups. So you can advertise with the Young Trustees Movement, with Queer Trustees, and with Board Racial Diversity UK. And then the bullets below are really showing how you can look at the intersection of diversity with particular skills areas. Now, this is just quite a random list of examples. The Black Fundraisers Network, Women in Banking and Finance. A quick Google search will give you some of these. And if you're looking to improve the racial diversity on your board, you can also purchase a database from Board Racial Diversity UK, which has listings of different organisations that you can send your advert to. Now, this is a worked out example of what your advertising plan is likely to look like. So you'll see that there's a general section, and then the other 4 sections are what this particular charity, what the areas they were looking to recruit to: corporate social responsibility, digital marketing, impact and campaigning, and infrastructure and funding. And you'll see that they have got a general list of places they advertised in, and then some specific ones for each of the different areas. And you may want to pause the video here and just have a look at that and think about how a version of this would look like for your own recruitment. Now, let's talk about gatekeepers, because what we've established we're not going to do is to say, Penny, would you please come and join our board? Come next Tuesday. You go along next Tuesday and I'm on the board. We're not going to bypass the recruitment and the checks, the crucial checking process for both sides, for both the potential trustee and the organisation, to check that this is the person you want and that they're going to be useful to you. So we're not going to approach people directly in that way. We might say to somebody, oh, I'd love you to know that we're recruiting for trustees at the moment. Perhaps you'd consider applying. So you can do that. You're also going to need to go through gatekeepers. Now, this is an example of a real life email to a gatekeeper. I'm a trustee of Cambridge Student Community Action. We run several projects for local children, families, and adults, etc. We're looking for new trustees, and one of the areas that we're looking for is social work. Now, this was to the local authority. We knew that they employed lots of social workers, so we're explaining who the charity is, the fact it does really important work locally, why we're emailing. And then we say, I wonder if you could assist us by circulating the attached advert to any relevant or networks or colleagues, please. So we're asking them to send it round for us. As well as being extremely rewarding and impactful, being a trustee is also a great personal and professional development opportunity. So with a gatekeeper, it's really important to give them a reason why they should forward it on, so that if they get any challenge internally, they've got all these reasons as to why actually saying to their social work colleagues, look, perhaps you might be interested in this, is a good thing to do on work emails. And this did result in several applicants and two really good appointments. Now, finally, so you've worked out what you need, you've got a brilliant advert, you've got an information pack. So you need to convert all of that into actual applications. So a few tips on that. First of all, don't bypass setting a closing date. It's really important so people know when you are advertising, and also so it encourages them to take action rather than just put it to one side. It cannot be overstated about how important it is to be friendly when people contact you. People, even if they're applying, may be coming with certain baggage about what kind of people become trustees. So be really encouraging and friendly when people contact you. And if it isn't you they're contacting, make sure that whoever is replying to them knows to do this. Definitely give people a way to ask questions. So, for example, you could ring our charity manager or our chair if you've got any questions, or drop them an email, but don't require it. Don't require people to give someone a ring, for example. It's a barrier that lots of people just won't overcome. A really excellent thing you could think about doing is doing a Q&A session. Now, there are advantages to doing it online. You might also do it face to face. It can be literally half an hour long. Anybody that asks for your information pack, you can send them an invitation. And I recommend that you do about 15 minutes of, being excited about your organisation, talking about the trustee role, saying what you're looking for, saying more about how people should apply, and then having a 15-minute Q&A. And you can always finish earlier if there aren't enough Q&As. The advantage of doing it online is that you can easily record it, and then people that have been in touch but didn't attend, you can send them the recording, and just send them a recording of your bit, not of the Q&A, because obviously there's confidentiality concerns there. And then just think the whole process through about removing barriers. So, for example, don't say in your advertising, you must be available on the 3rd of March for an interview, because anybody who isn't available on the 3rd of March is not going to apply in the first place.